Hey everybody, and welcome back to Midtown, USA. It's day 4 of early spring, and it is still a little too cool to plant most of everything. We can plant grass, but we obviously don't need any more grass. We are still working on cultivating. Got fields 15 and 11 left to cultivate, and then we will have all of our fields cultivated that do not have crops on them. During the last few days, we went ahead and picked up field 5. Field 5, which is a rectangular shaped field down here by field 6. And it's got wheat in it now, but we plan to put poplar in it once we get the wheat off of it. And thinking a little bit about poplar and the wood burning plant and the pigs, I decided that we should probably put poplar here in field 6. We're down here with our tree planter. We've got a pallet of poplar saplings here already in the planter. And we've got one of our helpers helped me by bringing an extra pallet of poplar down. Not really sure how much this field is going to take, so I went ahead and thought I would get 2 pallets of poplar just in case. If we've got any left over, that's fine. We will we'll use it on the other field for sure. Now technically we need this to be 41 degrees to plant poplar, but the fact is that we can plant poplar basically year-round. So since we can put poplar in the ground year-round, then it's not the right width. Let's check this out. Then there's no reason to basically wait until 41 degrees. It will basically germinate whenever it germinates. Does it not even tell me what the... It's definitely not that wide. Let's do this again. Something like that. It's super narrow. It's like 1.9 maybe. See how that works for coverage. So this is going to take about an eon and a half. We're probably going to be planting poplar for the next 3 days, but we're going to need it for the bioheating plant that we have down here. Been feeding it wood chips pretty much every day. We need to come in here and give it a couple good scoops of wood chips to keep it running. And we need some sort of renewable resource for these wood chips. And poplar is going to fit the bill, because poplar on here at Midtown will regrow. So we don't have to worry about replanting poplar. It is a renewable resource, and the fact that it will just come back up and regrow. So we only have to go through this planting ordeal one time, and then once we do that, we can harvest the poplar into chips, and then we can come back later and it will regrow on its own, so we don't have to worry about it. This is an excellent way of getting the wood chips to feed our burning plant. So we're going to put poplar in field 6. We're going to harvest the wheat off of field 5, and then we're going to make straw pellets off of the wheat that we get off of field 5 and use those. And then we're also going to then plant more poplar in field 5 once we get the wheat off of that and the straw off of that. So these 2 fields down here will be poplar fields by autumn. And I don't really know when we'll get our first poplar harvest. off of this field, but when we do, we're going to chip it up and dump it in our big storage building there for use as wood chips. Just some income. See how well this ends up lining up. May have to adjust it some. Now we've got a gap. And let's make this narrower. See how that works. Come back and replant this little area here. I think that looks a lot better. Doing. Looks like the, if I'm looking at this correct, it looks like the poplar is straight up and down, and the field is slanted here. It's pretty interesting. No, it's not that the poplar is perpendicular to the ground. It's going straight up and down, and the ground appears to have a slant to it. My course isn't straight, or I really hate planting poplar. Faster way to do it that I think there's some modded seeders that will plant poplar that just take regular seed and everything, but I'm not into that. I just wish this process was a bit faster and that this thing was a bit wider. You know, if there was some sort of industrial poplar seeder, there's got to be some sort of industrial seeder that seeds a heck of a lot more than 2 strips at a time. Just going to try to fill in this area. Have a gap in it. There's our train. This filled in, then maybe we can get a little better on our up and down passes. All right. So now we'll just work this ever so slowly. Meanwhile, we've got our cultivator still working over there on field 15. We'll just have to wait until our ground warms up. That's all I can say. Just are kind of sitting in a waiting game, waiting for our ground to warm up. We can got lots of stuff ready to do, ready to put in the ground. I don't know how many more fields, like I said, I don't know how many more fields of wheat or barley we're going to put in the ground. We seem to have a fair bit of that already. The big crops are we need 50 degrees, so we kind of got to wait on a fair bit of time on them to come around. It's getting a little better coverage now. 1.1 meters. Is the working width. Man, if this field was anything bigger, we'd be here all year long planting this stuff, I think. So I would suggest that we do a time lapse, but I think the time lapse wouldn't get us very far before we were out of song. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to cut it here, and I'll come back to you once we get a fair bit of this field already done. And we are still at it, planting our poplar. See, we've got a fair bit done, and we are nearly finished. We're well over 3/4 of the way done. I've swapped out our poplar planter. We started with the in-game planter, and now I've got a modded planter. This one plants at a little faster rate than the other one did. The other one planted at a whopping 3 miles an hour, and it just took forever. This one will plant at a speed of 9 miles per hour, but I've got it cruise control set at 6. I feel that that's a decent speed. It's not super fast. It's probably faster than technically the planter can do in real life. But 3 miles an hour just felt like it's going to take me several game days to just plant this, this little square here. It's about 1 hectare in size. So we've got the new planter, 6 mile an hour. It's a speed that I feel comfortable at. I don't have a problem with how long it's taking to get this done at this point. Just to catch you up on what's happened also off camera is we have finished our cultivation of our oilseed radish. So all the oilseed radish has been cultivated under. All of our fields are now at 3 stages of fertilization, except for this field. Once we're done planting our, see there we had it, there we were running at 9 mile an hour. I forgot to turn on cruise control. So we'll need to still fertilize this field to get it up to 3 stages. And on that, I really don't know if poplar is affected by fertilizer or not. I don't know if fertilizing a poplar field does anything to the wood chip output. But might as well just do it. It won't take too terrible long, and it won't cost too terrible much to do that. So we're going to go ahead and get that done. You can see we are up to day 5 of spring. We have rain in the forecast, and we still have a 39-degree ground temp. So we're still technically planting our poplar too cold, but we should be fine because it's got a year-round planting schedule. So we should be able to plant it whenever, regardless of ground temp, and it just won't grow until the ground temp is up to its minimums. So that's how I am going to interpret it. We will see if we end up with a total crop loss once we transition, since we don't have 41 degrees. So we're just kind of in a holding pattern. The reason we're putting poplar in here, and I realized that I don't think I explained it, is that we no longer need this size field for potatoes. We will be well enough by buying a pallet of potatoes in the shop and using that pallet to feed our pigs. With the changes in seasons, the seasons mod, pigs won't eat as much, and as such, we won't need this field for potatoes. The purpose of feeding our pigs like we originally were planning. So we're just going to basically change gears, and we were always going to put poplar. The plan was always to put poplar in here after the first potato harvest. But now that we don't need to put the potatoes in, just go ahead and put the poplar in, and it may come ready by the end of autumn. Not really sure. If it doesn't, then it may come ready over winter. Then again, we're not going to be playing the map past the end of autumn, so we're not really at this point thinking about the fact that we are not going to be playing the map. We're still going to go and schedule things on. Something I noticed, even with the in-game planter, the poplar was showing up a little skewed compared to where it should be. See, it should be directly in the middle there, but it's showing up off to the side a little bit. And sometimes it goes and misses a little bit. We'll come through and fill that part in. It also looks like we're going to end up having to get another box. This is our third pallet of poplar saplings. We went ahead and had to pick up a third box, and it looks like we're going to need to get a fourth one. Let's see. Decided I didn't want to skip that little bit. Let's back up and in. I'm going to do here where it missed. Center our tractor. Drop it and just run. Should fill in. This. So we've been planting since we started the this field. We've been planting non-stop. We even planted overnight. Even at 6 miles an hour, it's a long process to get this in the ground. And thankfully, like I've already said, this map is set up so poplar will regrow. It's kind of like grass. Plant it once and harvest to your heart's content. Except poplar don't get the harvest cycles as much. I think you're probably only going to get one harvest a year out of poplar, whereas obviously with grass you get multiple harvests a year. Let's go ahead while we get here to the end. We can make it to the end, and once we get down here, right, go ahead and run over here and get our truck. And off we go for another pallet of poplar. Alright, so I think I just saw the train go by, so we won't have to worry about the train. We have rain coming. And we will need to feed our sheep and our cows here shortly. Go ahead. Cows, pallet. Poplar. Right. On back to our field. See if it's the train. Right. Pull up here alongside. Load up our box. And we'll just rear off to the side of the road. Park our truck. So the plan is to probably leave our cedar, our poplar planter, leave our poplar planter down here in the building that's got the wood chips in it. Then we'll leave obviously the pallet of poplar saplings that is left in there, because we will be doing this same process on field 5 over there once we get the straw off of it, as we've already mentioned. So as we continue to work on this field, I want to go ahead and close out the video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please consider clicking the like button. If you are not yet a subscriber, please punch that subscribe button. That way you can get notifications of additional content. We do map videos typically on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Just last week we had Oakfield video, highly anticipated map, finally made its way out to PC and Mac. Still waiting on the release for console, that particular map. And there are a ton of maps that I am very eager to get access to. Coming out of FS UK, they are having a modding mania contest that is going to end the end of February, I think, for the maps category. And it's going to be exciting because I have seen several work in progress postings, and there are lots of very attractive maps based on screenshots. So I'm really super eager to see those come to completion, and then obviously run through the competition, run through testing, and make their eventual way to a release either on the Mod Hub or over at FS UK or whatever other sites the modding author should decide to release them to. So, on that also same topic, I want to remind everybody to please respect the modder and try to download your mods from respectable, authorized sites. Now, not all downloads, not all links that are on questionable mod sites are actually questionable. There are some modders that choose to use those sites as their avenue of mod release, and if that's the case, well then, maybe questionable thought on the modder's behalf, but if that's how they want to release their mod, it's up to them. But if you find a mod that you know is over at the Giants Mod Hub, and you find it linked on one of the other sites, please don't download it from those sites. Please go to the Mod Hub and get it for a couple reasons. One, with the Giants Mod Hub, every download will have the potential to bring the modder just a moderate amount of revenue. That does encourage the modder to continue to put the effort together and put things out. Second, when and if there are updates to a mod, those updates are going to be, let's say that this is a mod that's over in the Giants Mod Hub. Those updates are going to be reflected in the download. The old version is going to be removed, so you won't be able to download the old version anymore. And it's a very easy way to keep track of what version you have, or what version is the current version. Getting the exact same mod from one of the other questionable mod sites, basically most of what they do is they just go around and scrape other node mod sites, and if there's a new mod that shows up on some other site, well, they'll go and scrape it, download it, add it to their listing, and that's how you kind of get mod propagation that way. But the problem with that is let's say a mod author releases a mod that's got a bug, something that they didn't know about, got turned up after it was released. They go and fix that and upload a new version to wherever and whatever means that they choose to distribute their mod. They're going to take down the old version. They're going to not want the old version out there that's got the problem and the new version that's got the fix. They're only going to want the new version. So for the sites that just scrape and post, they're not going to put together that this is a different version, because most of the time it's just an automated robot that's doing it. It's a script or an automated process, and as such, that process doesn't recognize that, oh, this is a mod that I've previously gotten and it's a different version, so let me get rid of the old version. What you end up with is, let's say someone releases 3 versions of a mod. You end up with 3 completely separate downloads, all downloading 3 different versions, and what you end up with is an unknowing person downloading a broken version, experiencing the fact that the mod is broken, and now maybe they've got a little bit of a sour taste in their mind, in their mouth, for other mods by that mod author, when in all reality the version that is officially released doesn't have anything wrong with it. So version tracking is another real good reason why not to get your mods from somewhere else. And the final reason is basically incentives, or incentives. Modders put a ton of effort into their work. You know, this map has easily several hundred man hours into the production, in the creation and the testing, if not thousands of man hours into that. And you know, if they're not seeing a huge number of downloads from whatever source and whatever location that they put the mod in, or they publish the mod to, Then when it comes time to maybe think about doing another project, well, they may choose not to, simply because they may feel that no one was interested in their first offering or in their, their previous offerings. So please, please, if you can, try to get these mods from reputable locations or locations where the mod author had uploaded them. It's sometimes difficult to do. It's sometimes hard to know if this is a original link, meaning a link that the mod author put out there, or if it's a scraped link. But just take a look at the username that is listed as the uploader. One good clue is if the username that uploaded it is not similar or the same as a user that is attributed as being the mod author, or having some form of official interaction with the mod author, mod tester, or something like that, then it's probably an authorized release. Another good way of thinking of it is basically look at the mods and look and see who uploaded it, and then look and see if there are several other mods that this exact same person has uploaded. And if there are, it's quite possible that the account that uploaded it was a bot, not the actual author, but someone else, either simply posting mods by other people, or a robot that's doing it. So basically, if you find that 8 out of 10 mods on the front page of a particular mod site are all uploaded by a particular user account, it's probably not the mod author. This guy probably didn't do a whole bunch of mods and release them all at once. It's probably a robot, a script, or someone that's just scraping various mod sites. So just some things to look out for. So I encourage you guys to check out some folks in my description. Specifically, go check out DoughBoy. He is trying to get to 500 subs by Valentine's Day. And while it may be a little bit of a stretch now to get to that due to some changes in his work schedule, he's not been able to put out videos the way he has wanted to as of late. But he still has that goal. And let's see if we can't help him get close to it by go check out his channel. If you like his content, give him a sub. If anything, watch some videos, give him some likes, give him some views, give him some encouragement to keep putting out content. Because sometimes when the subs come slow and the views are low, you get a little discouraged. You get a little maybe frustrated, or you start to wonder, is it really worth the effort? And just let him know that it's definitely worth the effort. Go check him out. So until next time, guys, happy farming.